Cawthorn is the CEO and founder of Speakers Institute and Speakers Tribe. Author of 11 books, including 4 international bestsellers, he is both the Young Australian of the Year and the Edupreneur of the Year. In 2006, Sam's life changed forever when he was involved in a major car accident which left him with an amputated right arm and a permanent disability in his right leg. Sam went on to become one of the world's most in-demand global professional speakers. In 2013, Sam became an entrepreneur and built his training company that now runs events globally, teaching people how to master communication for influence. So can you tell us about your accident and how you beat the odds through to overcoming your obstacles?
So it was October the 3rd, 2006. Married, 2 kids, had a great job with the Australian federal government. But I had a lot on my plate and I was driving along and I fell asleep behind the wheel. I veered over the other side of the road and the police said it was a 206-kilometre head-on collision with a semi-trailer truck. So that's about, I think it's around 140 mile an hour. Wow. So very, very, it was a combined impact. And so my arm, my right arm, my most dominant arm was ripped off in the car accident above the elbow, as well as also my entire right leg was completely shattered. And so fast forward, I was then in a wheelchair for an entire year. I was in hospital for 5 months. And so today I do live with an above elbow right arm amputation, as well as also my right leg physically doesn't bend at all. So it's completely stiff. Now I'm 6'3", I'm 190 centimeters. And so having a leg that doesn't bend at all, it's very difficult to walk. I can't run. It's difficult for me to sit down in a theater, in a car, in a plane. Hard for me to walk up and down stairs. I can't ride a bike. I can't run. I can't jog. And then obviously on top of that, I've only got one arm, which is my left hand. So yeah, had to obviously navigate a brand new area of life. But I suppose for me, the biggest thing for me was mindset. And my mindset was based in the fundamental foundation of gratitude. And my gratitude was that I'm alive today for a reason and a purpose. There's many other people that have had a car accident that are no longer here. But you know something, I had a car accident and I am here. So there's still a reason and a purpose why I am still alive today. And so my rehabilitation was fast and it was quick, and I never suffered from depression or got any professional help. And one of the main reasons is because as I was saying, my fundamental foundation of my mindset, my heart set was gratitude. And that was a huge contributing factor.
That's amazing. And so how do you compensate for your limitations? So, for instance, like getting in a car, you said getting in a car or driving, getting in a car, I'm driving too. But, it's difficult. Are there special, do special like devices or compensatory strategies that you use? Obviously you can't run or jog. So I know, can you talk a little bit about that? And you also probably, since you had said that your right arm was most dominant, that you had to probably learn how to use your left arm, which probably was very difficult. So can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, look, absolutely. So I do still drive, and I enjoy driving. And people even ask me, was it hard to drive past a truck again? Was it hard to drive past that same spot on the road where I had the car accident? But no, it wasn't hard at all. It wasn't hard because I'd already put it behind me. And so for me, I've learned from it, absolutely. And I'm certainly not driving now, when I'm tired. But for me, I'm a little bit naughty, and meaning that I should be driving with a left foot accelerator,
Mm-hmm.
and I should be driving with a turn knob on my steering wheel, but I don't. And so, I hire cars as long as the car is an automatic. I can't drive a manual. As long as the car, has got, it is a large car, and so the seat goes all the way back. I drive all the time. I drive every single day, and I have multiple cars, and I enjoy driving. And not only that, I've driven all around Australia, and I've driven, all around America as well since my car accident. Oh, wow. And so, yeah, certainly driving has never stopped me from, or my disability has never stopped me from driving. Now, when it does come to my right arm, obviously it's no longer here. So yeah, having to learn to use my left hand, it was very, very difficult, to say the least. You know what was the hardest thing was cleaning my teeth. Yeah, getting that really fast action motion with my other hand, and I refused to get an automatic toothbrush. Why? Because I just wanted to learning my signature again, learning how to write, and so on and so forth. But for me, I didn't have a choice. So there wasn't a frustration. It was just a new habit and a new skill that I had to learn. Mm-hmm. And so, it was difficult, but I learned it. And now it's quite interesting. A lot of my mates and a lot of my friends don't even look at me as living with a disability. And I don't even look at myself as living with a disability. Mm-hmm. I feel that I'm very able to do and achieve anything.
Mm-hmm. Which is wonderful. So I didn't get into this only for time's sake. And I don't know if Megan had mentioned to you, but I actually do have a disability myself. So I'll just talk about it in a nutshell. I was born with a brain injury, which basically caused right paralysis on the right side of my body. So I have two hands, but and two arms and all that, but I can't use my right arm as well as I can use my left arm. So, and obviously there's been other challenges, obviously from a cognitive standpoint, learning and all of that. But you talk about like using a spinner wheel. So I actually have that on my license. So I don't use it, even though it's on my car. In hindsight, I'm like you, I don't really think of myself as having a disability, and neither do any of my friends. I mean, it's very mild, but it's, that's not who a person is. You're not defined by your disability. You're defined by who you are as a person and your accomplishments and, family and all of that, which is hard because not everyone is, can accept that. So you are a motivational speaker. How did you learn the skills to be such an inspiration to others? Was it your gratitude when, how did you come to a place where you could really share your story and inspire others?
I grew up in a church, and so obviously, being in a church, there was always opportunities for me to share my message. I'm also a musician, and so I loved, playing and singing and performing in a way. I was also a dancer back at school, so I'd love being on stage and dancing and performing and so on and so forth. So growing up with that trait, I've never really been afraid to, get up and perform or speak in front of other people. And so then I became a youth pastor, and this was just before my car accident. And as a youth pastor, I did need to speak quite a bit. And so after my car accident, I was still in a wheelchair. A local youth group asked me to share my story. I went and shared my story, and then a school, and then another school, and then another school. And I thought, wow, man, this is really cool. Maybe I should start charging. So I started to charge like $500 for me to just come along and share my story. And at one stage, I was doing about 10 schools every single week. Wow. And they say that, and what we know is speaking in schools is the greatest training for anyone at all that wants to speak. Why? Because you go and speak to a bunch of teenage kids for an hour, they will certainly tell you if you're boring or not. And so, you know, learning that muscle in and around keeping people's attention, you know, being both funny but also inspiring was certainly some things that I learned a lot in those first initial years. So I became a youth speaker first of all for a few years. Then I became a corporate speaker then for a few years, and I've spoken on stage with the likes of Michelle Obama and you know, Michael Jordan and Richard Branson and the Dalai Lama and so on and so forth. And you know, really being at that top tier game, I then realized that other people wanted to learn how to do it, how to share their story as well. So I started to teach other people how to share their story. And it was very organic. And then I started Speakers Institute. And now Speakers Institute is a global company. We have a team of over 90 people. We have a reach of over 100,000 speakers all around the world. And yeah, we just absolutely love helping speakers get their message out and communicate their story in a powerful way.
Yeah, it's amazing. So getting into the Speakers Institute, so you're the CEO and founder. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what the Speakers Institute is, and, you know, what specifically do you do in order to help other speakers?
Yeah, so basically anyone at all that believes that they've got a message, anyone at all that, you know, might actually have a story that needs to be shared, anyone at all that believes that they do want to make a difference in the world in a positive way, but ultimately don't have the skills or the platform and how to do it, then they come to us. So then we teach them how to, you know, do a TED talk, or how to get a best-selling book out, or how to share their story really powerfully, or even how to commercialize their message and their story as well. So yeah, there's a whole formula in and around that. We've now got a curriculum. We now have an award-winning curriculum. We recently won the global prize for excellence in our entrepreneurship.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so yeah, clearly there was a really solid, really strong market, and we maximized it. You know, no one really has ever done what we've done, and it's quite extraordinary what we've built.
Yeah, no, it sounds amazing. I mean, I'm obviously learning about it now, but I mean, before, obviously what you're telling me you're doing in the Speakers Institute that you started, I mean, there's nothing like that. That's my whole point. And I think it is really powerful because I think a lot of people need the coaching and even the education. So you've authored a few books. For example, People Follow People, the 12 Characteristics of an Influential Leader, and Bounce Forward, How to Transform Crisis into Success. If you could just share one thing to your readers about your books, what would you say or share?
Yeah, really good question. So Bounce Forward was an initial concept that, and obviously my story was a metaphor in and around that concept, where whenever we have a tough time or a crisis or an adversity, a lot of the time we're told we need to bounce back from it. We need to bounce back. And so for me, the concept of bouncing back is that we're not learning from that crisis, and we're bouncing back to where we were before that crisis hit, before that tough time hit. But for me, it's about learning from every tough time, learning from every crisis, and bouncing forward into what we can become. And sometimes I believe that crisis creates opportunity. That sometimes we need a crisis in order for change to happen. Sometimes we need an adversity or a tough time in order for us to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and in order for our habits to change. And so when that crisis happens, one thing I do talk a lot about is a thing which we like to call proximity is power. There's undisputed evidence that now shows that we are the average of our 5 closest friends. Yeah, the company that we keep determine who we are. We cannot expect to live a happy, positive, successful life if we hang around with negative, sad, unsuccessful people. And so for me, I'm always looking for ways how I can upgrade my proximity. And ultimately, we are now creating environments all around the world. If you want to upgrade your proximity, you go and hang around with people that will not accept you for who you were yesterday.
Mhm.
I believe we exist on this planet to not only grow, but to contribute, add value, serve, and help humanity. And so for me, that requires a level of a lot of collaboration, partnership, proximity in order for us to go out there and make a difference, in order for us to also feel truly fulfilled. So proximity is power, and sometimes crises are the very things that we need to find the opportunities in our life.
Right. No, I would agree. And hopefully readers will sense that from your books, and I'm sure they do. Now I got to go pick up a copy and read one of them. So you are, I mean, you're an amazing, inspirational person, both from a disability standpoint, and then obviously, you know, now like what you're doing with your life. And you have a, you know, obviously very positive, you know, very persistent mindset. How, if anything, how have you gotten to this place in terms of, you know, always moving forward and not moving back? Because clearly there have been obstacles, you know, and there's probably been hard times, regardless of whether you've not fallen into a depression or anything. But yeah, so like what keeps you moving? Aside from great.
Yeah, so I think definitely two things, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One is the proximity around me, yeah, my wife, my kids, my family, my community, and you know, and that intrinsic desire to want to help, contribute, add value, serve, etc. So for me, you know, it's the proximity around me that have really helped me to continue to not wallow in my sadness or in my bitterness or become a victim, but also keep myself, you know, in a real deep sense of gratitude that I am alive. I'm still a great father. I'm still a great husband, and so on and so forth. And the second thing is my faith. So I have a very solid faith, and through my faith, it gives me purpose. It gives me destiny. It gives me a calling in my life. And so for me, having a solid faith, and my faith is I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. Yeah.
I'm a Christian too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One of my mates, he runs a big church there in New York City, Hillsong Church.
What is it called again?
Old Hillsong Church.
Hillsong? I haven't heard of it, and I'll look it up though. But you know, I'm Christian. I'll go to it.
Yeah, it's there in New York City. But I suppose my point being is that when I have a faith, that faith gives me a sense of gratitude, give me a sense of I don't have to deal with it all by myself. I can, you know, gift my sorrow and my bitterness and my anger through to God, and he comforts me. But also at the same time, it gives me hope. It gives me a future. It gives me destiny. It gives me purpose. It gives me a direction. And ultimately, when you have a purpose, then there's no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
When you have forgiveness, then there's no bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have gratitude, then there's no depression. And so for me, when I utilize these fundamental principles that is part of my faith, then it gives me no other option but to be the person I am today.
Right. No, absolutely. All right, this is my last question, but so right on time, right? Okay, so you're full of advice, you're full of inspiration and so forth. What piece of advice would you give to others who have acquired an injury? Doesn't have to be the same type of injury, but you know, really kind of feeling hopeless and, you know, not knowing where to go next in life, so forth.
Yep. The greatest gift I believe God ever gave us was, our creator, or whatever you believe in. The greatest gift that we've been given as humans is the freedom of choice. So we get to choose and we get to make decisions. The word decision comes from the Latin word decidere, incision. Scission means to cut. And the word decide, suicide, pesticide, the word side means to kill. So the word decision means to cut off and kill. My point being is this. The best advice I can give people out there that do live with a disability, that might feel that they've been, given the wrong hand in life, my encouragement to you is this. It is your decision, not your condition, that determines who you are. We're not defined by our condition. I'm not defined by my disability. I'm defined by the decisions that I make. Mm-hmm. And so for me, every single day, I'm going to make decisions every day. Decisions is like motivation. It's like having a shower. You need it every day. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, it's my decision, not my condition. We all have conditions in life. My condition is physical. Other people's condition could be emotional, mental, spiritual.
We all have issues. There's no.
Exactly right. There's not a single human being that I've ever met in all of my world travels and all of my stages that haven't got issues in their life. We've all got issues.
We all do.
But it is our decision, not our condition, that determines who we are.
There you go. Amen to that. This was so great. I could talk to you forever. I interview tons of people, and you're definitely one of the top people that I've spoken with. I think you have a great story, and you're doing amazing things, and your determination and all your other characteristics really make you who you are, and where you're going in life, where you have gone in life, because you're succeeding and doing a lot of great things.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. I really appreciate that. That's very nice to say. And again, congratulations on you as well. I have been looking at your website here, and congratulations on what you're doing and who you are in the world. I think you're an extraordinary person, and my hope and prayer is that God continues to bless you, and you continue to share light so wherever you go.
Absolutely. Same to you. Anyways, I'll be in touch with you. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. See you later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.